Have you ever given your all, only to be treated like you're nothing? You show up, you care, you pour your heart into your work, your relationships, your dreams, but no one seems to notice? What if I told you the problem isn't that people don't see your value, it's that you've stopped reminding yourself of it? This is the story of Ethan, a man who almost lost himself trying to earn worth, until he learned the one truth that changed everything. Your worth isn't something you earn, it's something you claim.
Ethan worked at a small marketing firm in the city. He wasn't the boss. He wasn't even a team lead. But he was the one who stayed late to fix last-minute client decks. He was the one who remembered everyone's birthdays, even the interns. He was the one who always said yes, even when he was drowning. He believed if he just worked harder, smiled brighter, and gave more, people would finally see him. They'd say, "Ethan, you're brilliant. We couldn't do this without you." For years, he measured his value by how useful he was to others. If his boss praised him, he felt worthy. If a client complained, he felt like a failure. His self-worth was on a leash, and someone else held the other end. And honestly, it worked. For a while. He got called reliable, kind, so easy to work with. But no one ever asked, "Ethan, what do you need?" No one ever said, "Take a break. You've done enough." Because in their eyes, he wasn't a person. He was a role, a helper, a fixer. And roles can always be filled by someone else. Then came the big project, the one that could land the firm its biggest client. Ethan poured everything into it. Nights, weekends, missed dinners with his brother. He even canceled his best mate's birthday trip to finish the pitch deck. The day of the presentation, his boss took full credit, not just in front of the client, but in the company-wide email that followed. "Thanks to my leadership, we've secured the deal." Ethan sat at his desk staring at the screen. His chest felt tight, his eyes burned. But the worst part? He didn't say a word. That night, he called his older brother, Ben. "I don't know why I'm upset," Ethan whispered. "It's just, I gave everything, and it meant nothing." Ben was quiet for a moment. Then he said softly, "Ethan, when did you start believing you had to earn the right to be valued?" The question hit like a stone in still water. Because the truth was, Ethan had never felt worthy unless he was doing something for someone else. He'd confused being needed with being loved. He'd traded his peace for approval and called it success. For days, he moved through work like a ghost, smiling on the outside, hollow on the inside. And in that quiet pain, a new thought began to grow. What if I stopped waiting for them to see me and started seeing myself? One morning, Ethan didn't go to the office. Instead, he drove to the lake on the edge of town, the place he used to visit as a kid. He sat on the dock, watching the water ripple in the sunlight. And for the first time in years, he asked himself, who am I when no one's watching, when no one's praising me, when I'm not useful? He thought about the things he loved that no one at work knew, how he wrote poems in a little notebook, how he once helped an old man fix his broken bike in the rain, how he always left an extra tip for tired waiters. These weren't skills, they weren't on his CV, but they were him, and they mattered, not because they helped someone else, but because they came from a place of truth inside him. That day, Ethan made a quiet promise. I will no longer shrink myself to fit into spaces that don't honor me. He went back to work, but differently. He still did his job well, but he stopped saying yes to everything. When his boss asked him to redo a report over the weekend, he said, "I can do it Monday morning. I need this weekend for myself." His boss blinked. "Since when do you set boundaries?" He looked him in the eye and said gently, "Since I remembered I'm not just an employee, I'm a person." A few months later, Ethan left the firm. Not because he was angry, but because he finally knew his worth wasn't tied to a title, a paycheck, or someone else's opinion. He started teaching writing workshops for teens. He shared his poems. He listened, really listened, to his students' stories. And slowly, he built a life where he wasn't just needed, he was seen. Now, here's the truth I want you to carry with you. You are not valuable because of what you do. You are valuable because of who you are. Your kindness, your quiet strength, your sense of humor, the way you notice when someone's hurting, the way you keep going even when no one claps. These aren't extras, they're your signature. And no one, not your boss, not your partner, not society, gets to decide if they're enough. If you're waiting for someone to validate you, you'll spend your whole life holding your breath. But the moment you stand in your truth, when you say, "This is me, take it or leave it, but I won't hide anymore," that's when you become unshakable. Because here's the secret. People don't leave what they truly value. They don't replace what they deeply respect. And when you know your worth, you stop begging for a seat at tables that were never meant for you. You build your own table, and you invite only those who honor the light you carry. So ask yourself today, am I living to be approved or to be authentic? You don't have to be perfect to be worthy. You don't have to be useful to be loved. You just have to be you, fully, fiercely, unapologetically, because the world doesn't need another copy. It needs your voice, your heart, your irreplaceable soul. And that has always been enough. Thank you for watching. If this story spoke to you, hit like, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, you were born worthy. Everything else is just noise. Until next time, be kind to yourself.